What is up, everybody? It's Illinois Outdoorsman here, and today we're going to switch things up a little bit. And instead of doing more of fishing oriented video, we're going to do a loadout of my hiking, camping, backpacking kind of backpack and what I keep in it to go on my trips. Minus one or two things that's really going to depend on if it's a canoe camping trip or if it's a backpacking camping trip. But for the most part, that's just whether I'm bringing food or if I'm bringing a rod and reel with and a little tackle box. But overall, this is the basics. I try to keep it as small as possible. Obviously, I'm a big guy, so I need some stuff. Some stuff of mine's bigger, but this is kind of the basics. There's going to be 5 groups here, the basics to take you around what you need, and you can kind of go through this, decipher, see if do I really need that, do I need this. But before we get to what's in my bag, the rule I've always known is your weight should be no more than 30% of your body weight, your bag weight. So that's counting your bag as well. No more than 30% of your body weight. And to be honest with you, it adds up quick. Especially being 260 pounds. I want to say mine's somewhere at like 50 pounds, something like that. And it's way too heavy. This whole setup minus my food weighs in at about 20 pounds. Which is still really heavy. You see a lot of people got an 8-pound backpack and you're trying to figure out how they're getting there. They're spending thousands of dollars on this ultra lightweight stuff. When for a couple pounds and what I'm doing with it isn't too bad. But we'll go ahead and dive on in, and we got 5 parts to this. They are going to be your sleep system, your food, I call it what I keep in the brain. Just my random stuff I keep in the brain. The stuff I need really quick, easy access to. My side pouches, my accessory, my little piddly odds and ends stuff just so I know where they're at. And my toiletry bag. So with that, we will go ahead and start breaking this down and show you guys what I carry. And some of you guys may think it's excessive, but it's what I carry. It's what I like to carry. Makes me comfortable. So yeah, let's dive right on in. See, I've got a lot of this stuff here. It looks big and bulky, and depending on the time of year, a lot of this stuff goes away. I know this will go away, which takes up a lot of room and a lot of weight in my bag. This is more for winter camping. I don't do much of it. When I do, I don't want to be cold. I've said it before, I'm fluffy, but I don't like the cold. I don't want to be cold. But we'll go ahead and start with the big stuff since it's going to go on the bottom of the bag. Actually, we'll start with the bag. We'll start with the bag first, and then we'll work our way through this. My bag is just an Outdoor Products Walmart brand. It's the Arrowhead. It covers what I need. I don't need some $300-400 bag. I think this thing was 30 bucks. It's cheap, but it does the job. The only thing I don't like about it is on the hip belts, there's no pockets. There's some loops in here where you can kind of clip stuff onto, but there's no pockets. I do keep a knife on my shoulder strap. It's nice to have access to that knife, especially if you've got a pocket knife on you. This hip belt's probably going to kind of inhibit your access to it. But it's got an internal frame in it. But for 30 bucks, you can't beat it. I've loaded the crap out of it, and it still hasn't torn. It's held up beautifully. So, it's what I like. It's cheap. I'm cheap. I like doing stuff on the cheap. If I can do it, make it on my own for 1/10 of the cost, why not? Why spend the money when I can do it myself? But go ahead and dive on in here. What we have is a sleep system. I hammock camp. Amazon, I think 25-30 bucks. This hammock has done 2 seasons so far. Works flawlessly. It's comfortable. It's super big. And I'm 6'5", so I like super big if you guys haven't noticed. I have my tarp. You can make a shelter out of it without the hammock and still have some sort of a tent or a rain fly for your tarp, so you can still, or for your hammock, so you can still enjoy hammock camping even when it's raining, snowing, windy, whatever. You can block a lot of the wind out with that tarp. A lot. And then we're going to go on to, this really needs to go over here, Ridgeline. This is, you've got 550 cord and 1100 cord. I use 1100 cord for my Ridgeline. But I keep it separate. I keep it in the front pocket just so I know where it's at, but it goes with my sleep system. In here we have a sleeping bag I turned into, made a underquilt out of. I wasn't paying a bunch of money for an underquilt. Walmart sleeping bag. It's a 20-degree bag. I got it on sale before the Walmart here in town closed. $5. I paid more for the compression sack than I did the actual sleeping bag. This one is my overquilt. During the warmer months, this one won't come along. This underquilt won't go. It'll just be an overquilt, which is just a, like I've said before, my wife loves IKEA. Just an IKEA down alternative overquilt, rated down to 40 degrees or something like that. So it should be plenty warm for the summer. A DIY pillow I made. This is just some compressible foam I had and an old dry bag. Just tie it up. It compresses out. It's a perfect little pillow. It's enough to take the kink out of your neck. Makes sleeping in a hammock a lot more comfortable. Hammock camping is about comfort. And if you do it right, you can sleep all day in the thing. They're wonderful. But that is my sleep system. Hammock, underquilt, overquilt, overhead protection. Next, we're going to go ahead and go on and move to the brain of the bag, which is that top pouch on your bag. The brain, it's the stuff you want to keep that's super easy to get to, super accessible. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You can always just reach up, get a hold of it, get what you need. Number one, toilet paper. I don't care what anybody says out there. Moss, everything else, nothing compares to toilet paper. I always keep a roll in my bag. I keep a roll in my truck. But sometimes when nature calls, you're miles from nowhere and it's nice to have. I keep 3 different forms of lights. Glow sticks. Cheap. Get them around Halloween for $1 a piece. You can get them all year long for $1.25 anywhere else. Dollar Tree, $1 a piece. A headlamp that has a low, and a high setting. 2 sets of extra batteries for it. They're AAA batteries. They don't weigh a lot, but nobody wants to be using a light and need a light, and then the batteries go dead, and then you're screwed. And then I keep this little light. This was 97 cents at Walmart. Clips onto the bill of your hat. It ain't super bright, runs off a watch battery, but in a pinch, you've got light. And the side pouches in my bag. So this is the brain. This is what I keep. There's nothing really much in there. Moving on to the little side pouches in my bag. I keep my stakes for my tarp. A folding saw. I don't know how well you guys can see that. Just a little 8-inch folding saw. A spoon. We all like to eat. Still human. We don't want to be barbaric. Use your utensils. A little extra piece of 550 cord. And in a pinch, you can make a fishing lure out of this too if you forget your tackle box. Make a fishing lure out of it. A water filter. I love this thing. I have used this multiple times. I used it right before I started doing videos on my trip to the Tippecanoe River in Indiana. My dad, my uncle, and I, we went on a 3-day, 30-mile canoe trip. Can't ever bring enough water with you because it weighs a lot, but by God, that water's clear. You can filter it, you can boil it. This thing works amazingly. The pouch and all the stuff to go with it to clean the filter and everything else I keep with it too. Fire starter, magnesium bar with a striker, and some flammable cotton balls soaked in Vaseline, petroleum jelly, whatever it is. I keep these in my side pouches. They're little things I don't want to lose. On to my cooking stuff. I keep a canteen for water. This is what I use. Take canteen, I can fill this pouch up, then I have about a half a gallon of water. I can filter it, I can boil it. Fuel, propane fuel. I know this is a big bottle. You can get the little short bottles. This is one of those things I don't care. The extra 8 ounces doesn't bother me. My stove. I will link the stove, the hammock, and my cook set all in the description down below. All that stuff was purchased on Amazon. There's no sense in going out and, if I can get it open, spending a ton of money on a stove. This thing Works perfect for, I think it was like 18 bucks. Perfect. It comes with the adapter for the little Jetboil bottles. For an extra $6, you can get the adapter to go to this big propane bottle. It all folds out, got a striker built into it, so you don't have to light it with a match or anything else and risk blowing yourself up. Throw that back in there. Cook set. It's got 2 pots, a pan, a plate, silverware, a cleaning brush in it. And then I also, plate, nice little plate. I keep a couple extra Ziploc baggies and some aluminum foil in there. Sometimes you cook fish in there, wrap it in aluminum foil, it doesn't stick nearly as bad. And you can make a second plate out of the foil if you're feeding 2 people out of it. Comes in a real nice little mesh bag, keep it all in, keeps it all organized, and it all fits together. Zip it up, and that thing ain't but 3-4 inches thick. And then obviously the canteen. This right here is my cook system. Now, along with that, depending on what kind of camping I'm doing, if I'm doing a canoe camping trip, I'll bring like an ultralight rod and a little box of baits. And bluegill tastes good year round. You bring a couple eggs with you, you can have fish 3 meals a day. If I'm doing just a backpacking trip and it's not camping, I'll bring some extra food with. I do have room in this bag still, even with all this stuff in there, to pack food in the top of it. Now, we'll go ahead and get to, let's shove this out of the way here. I'm running out of space. You guys can see all this, there we go. My toiletries bag. Some of this stuff will go, this will go away, the stocking cap. This is awesome in a hammock in the winter. Everything is covered except your head. That's what's going to get cold. That's where you're going to lose a lot of your body heat is through your head. A hat, it's cheap. Safe insurance, cheap insurance. Toothbrush, again, Dollar Tree. It folds up, nice and neat. Is it your power orbital sander for your teeth at home? No, but it will do. Toothpaste. Wet wipes, these are antimicrobial wet wipes. This is one of those necessities that I think is a necessity. You may not think. A bar of soap. It's nice to clean your hands off after you've been paddling all day and fishing and you've got gunk all over your hands. A Mylar blanket. It's small, it'll keep you warm, it's cheap. Insurance, redundancies. That is the biggest thing, is redundancies. Have a backup plan to your backup plan to your plan. And then an extra set of clothes. There's socks, underwear, shirt here. All you gotta do is dry your pants out. But all that, I think in this whole setup I've got right here, I've got maybe $100 wrapped up in it, and I can camp comfortably from this set. But it does weigh a little bit, but that's all right. A lot of this weight goes away. For one season, you got to deal with the weight. One season. Everything else, you can get rid of this, and a lot of this stuff will go away. But if you guys want to know more, like I said, I'll link this stuff in the description down below. But if you guys want to know more on anything or have any questions about it, hit me up. Let me know, comment down below, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. But I'll see you guys out there.